On behalf of our program, the Learning Differences Office, we wanted to thank you all very, very much for coming tonight. I know that I am one of the few things standing between you and food, so I'll try to make it short and sweet. Lighted Up Blue is an international connection with the start of Autism Awareness Month. It's classified as International Autism Awareness Day.
Bow your heads, and with whatever measure of faith we bring to the table, let's take a moment and be mindful of God's presence among us and in us. God of mercy and abundance, you came that we might have life and have it abundantly. Yet in each of us lives an insatiated hunger, a hunger for understanding, a hunger for acceptance from others and from ourselves, a hunger for healing of past hurts, a hunger for the humility to seek forgiveness and the generosity to accept forgiveness, and a hunger for a future filled with unimagined possibilities. The great Mr. Rogers said, "You know, I think everybody longs to be loved and longs to know that he or she is lovable. And consequently, the greatest thing that we can do is to help somebody know that they're loved and capable of loving." May our communion together feed our souls with the confidence that we are delightful. In our loneliness, we are never alone. May this bread, blessed and broken, just as we are blessed and broken, sustain us as we become and love who we already are. Brothers and sisters, ready to light the night blue. And we make this prayer in the name of our God, who loves us more than we can imagine or dream. Amen.
Basically, when I first came here, my biggest problem was that I didn't know what to expect. I really hadn't spent any time on any college campuses or anything like that. And the AIM program really helped me with that, especially with the program that they have during the summer, the couple weeks that we are allowed to come before the actual term starts. And that helped me to better prepare for life on campus. Probably the biggest thing that I have learned is that time management is key. I've seen a lot of kids that are extremely intelligent but have no time management skills, and they just can't handle college life because they can't manage their time, manage their classes, studying, all of that. And that's probably the biggest lesson I've learned so far. And another big lesson that I've learned from the AIM program is they do help you prepare. They help you. I use the note-taking system with tests, all of that. But the biggest thing for me was that there's always somebody there to talk to. You know, when you're in high school or grade school, your parents are there. You can talk to them all the time. Go up to them when you get home and talk to them about problems. And basically what happens here is they're kind of like your go-to people. You can go and talk to them about just about anything. And that's the biggest thing for me with the AIM program. And that's pretty much it.
Thank you. Thank you. Soon we'll be graduating with a degree in intelligence studies, and we're very proud of him. He will be our first intelligence studies graduate, so we're really very happy. Thank you.
Kevin Thomas. Matthew Jury. Isaac Rader. Isaac sneak out on us? Okay, all right. He had to go do homework, is that what you said? That is awesome. Yeah. Sorry, Isaac, we didn't want to mess up your study. So yeah, I did see him here earlier, so I'm glad he's putting his priorities in order. Ben Reiner. Andrew Stuckey. Emily Dollamore. Jeffrey Cruel. Brant Schaefer, who is our official videographer, so I hope we don't mess this up. Ryan Flavey. Bradley Farber. Lucy Foley. All right. There you go. Michael Monaco. Samantha Rossnagel. Nick Schiff. What color was his tongue? And last but not least, Tristan Graham.
Our first recipient this evening is Sheila Kuhn. Sheila? Is Mercyhurst's government liaison. And she's not someone that many of our AIM participants or parents or even some of our own administrators and teaching staff have ever had the privilege of working with. Her office is tucked into a quiet corner on the second floor of Egan, somewhat removed from the hustle and bustle of day-to-day college activities. Sheila's job description, as best I can tell, is to develop funding opportunities for various pursuits our faculty and staff feel very passionate about, but don't have the money to do. Working very quietly in the background, Sheila has interfaced with private and public agencies to uncover funding and to provide opportunities for AIM to receive regional, state, and federal recognition. It was Sheila and one of Sheila's previous supervisors, Dr. David Livingston, now president of Lourdes University in Sylvania, Ohio, who convinced key constituents in the House of Representatives to provide a congressionally directed grant to start up our AIM program. Sheila, working closely with the Verizon Corporation, is the reason we have the Kurzweil Reading Program, invaluable to our AIM and Learning Differences students. Many of our AIM students who have enjoyed the use of an iPad, probably unaware that it was Sheila's enthusiasm for the PRAR program that led to this donation. Sheila made possible the introductions through Representative Mike Kelly's office that led to Brad McGarry's testimony before the 112th Congress, solidifying Mercyhurst's national reputation at the forefront of the autism movement. Sheila has helped to position the AIM program prominently at the local, state, and federal level. Not only is Sheila a consummate professional, but a dear friend, and her patience in explaining the complexities of governmental reporting is only matched by the patience that she exhibits when working with her grandson, Sean, a young man on the spectrum who will hopefully become a part of our AIM program when he is ready for college. Please join me in thanking Sheila Kuhn. Our next award goes to Dr. Kenneth Schiff. Remember vividly two moments that I shared with Dr. Schiff that best illustrate his advocacy an extraordinary passion for inclusion of students on the autism spectrum at our college. The first occasion was in 2002, when he walked into my office, which at that time was located at the top floor of O'Neill Tower, the very building that we'll light tonight. And he came into Ken coming into my office was really not that unusual. After all, he was the person who had told me that the plants that I had in my office gave off very bad feng shui and I should remove them. We had known Ken for 4 years at this point. But this time the plants were not what he wanted to talk about. He simply came up to me and he asked me if I had ever heard of Asperger syndrome. And quite candidly, I admitted I had never heard of it. Ken explained that individuals on the autism spectrum were Asperger syndrome or autistic, and he believed that the Learning Differences program at Mercyhurst ought to consider recruiting individuals with autism to come to our college. I remember listening with fascination as Ken described the gifts and talents of individuals on the spectrum, and was surprised to find out that his son Nicholas, a young man I had known for years before, was diagnosed with Asperger syndrome. Ken, as you all might know, is most persuasive. He convinced me, high-level administrators, and several faculty members to create a task force to consider the resources and support that would be required to develop programming on our campus for students on the spectrum. This was not an easy sell. Not that faculty and staff and administrators didn't think it was a great idea, but the time that we were attempting to develop this program was at a time of zero budget increase. So creating a new program was going to be a challenge. Undaunted, Ken wrote draft after draft of proposals, investigated every outside resources, and gently elbowed his way into the president's office many times. And so here's my second recollection of Ken. It was on a day in 2007 that Dr. Gamble approved the inclusion of 4 students on the spectrum to be part of a pilot program the following fall. Ken again sat in my office, and this time both of us had tears in our eyes as we realized what was about to happen. Students, families, please know that without the devotion of Ken Schiff, there would never have been an AIM program. He was the spark and the sustaining drive that made this program possible. Please extend your appreciation to Dr. Kenneth Schiff, faculty advocate, author of How to Start a College Asperger Support Program, published in Autism Asperger's Digest in 2012, and father of current AIM junior Nicholas Schiff, and please recognize him for his passionate commitment to the AIM program. The third award is also a Founders Award, and that goes to Dr. Jerry Tobin. So at one time, one of my colleagues from a much larger school said to me, "How is it that you've got that AIM program at Mercyhurst?" She said, "How can you sustain that program?" And I said to her, "Well, what keeps it afloat is the Irish charm of Dr. Jerry Tobin." While Ken was the visionary who gave birth to AIM, it was Jerry, with his Irish blarney and his mediation with counseling skills, which sustained the AIM program through some of its crucial growing pains. Throughout the 10-plus years of AIM's emergence on campus, Jerry Tobin has always been the go-to person who has diffused problems of our AIM students and crafted solutions that were respected by faculty and administration alike. Our AIM students have had amazing successes and at times extraordinary challenges. In my assessment, when our program garnered national attention, everyone on our campus wanted to join the AIM bandwagon. But the mission of AIM is working with students who experience social and emotional challenges. All of us, administrators, faculty, parents, and students, are imperfect humans who sometimes make mistakes and sometimes make choices we later feel very sorry about. When these regrettable moments have occurred within the short history of AIM, it has been Jerry Tobin's wisdom and grace that has helped to turn potentially catastrophic moments for our AIM students into times of learning and insight. Jerry's often said that the mission of Mercyhurst is best exemplified by AIM, which provides compassionate hospitality and social mercy to students with differences. If that is to be accepted as true, then Jerry, using his own words as the author of Mercyhurst's core values, is the embodiment of all that Mercyhurst has provided to our AIM students. He has been the voice of our students when they were unable to articulate their concerns. His capacity to be socially merciful and his commitment to our university's core values has allowed AIM to build a community on campus that transcends mere tolerance. Those of us who have the privilege of working with Jerry know what a humanitarian and honest presence he brings to the workplace. We are honored to present Jerry Tobin with our first Founders Award for his commitment to our AIM students and staff. Sharon Cisco. You did know that? Don't you read the Mercy? Sharon doesn't know. She doesn't read the Mercy ad. She doesn't. You were supposed to tell her.
No, this is a didn't tell me.
Okay. So some people who do not know Sharon Cisco believe that as Mercyhurst events coordinator, it is her job on campus to provide superior administrative support to event planning and conferences on campus. They know that Sharon is the person who makes arrangements not only for room setup, but overseeing audiovisual needs as well. But our AIM staff knows differently. Sharon Cisco's job is to provide the very best in work-study supervision of our AIM students. In other offices, work-study involves minimal contact with the person at the top. Students rotate in and out of work-study positions, the difference in each position being that one year they're stapling and collating papers in Old Main, and the next year in Egan. But when a student is assigned to work with Sharon, it is a 4-year tour of duty. She works intensely with our students, who by the end of their 4 or more years view Sharon not only as their boss, but their mother away from home. And Sharon is no easy taskmaster. She insists that students assigned work with her produced with the same level of attention that she herself brings to her job on campus. Our Mercy mission speaks of the dignity of work. Work is important and valuable to all of us, but for students on the autism spectrum who have never had a job before, learning how to be a productive employee is a critical life lesson. Without needing to be trained in vocational education, Sharon has provided over the years the best in career preparation for a number of our AIM students. It is the prevailing wisdom on our campus that if a student can measure up to Sharon's exacting standards, then that student has been prepared for the world of work. Sharon does not expect from her students any less than their best, and that is what she receives year after year. In AIM's existence, there has always been at least one AIM student fortunate enough to have worked under Sharon's guidance. Please welcome Brant Schaefer, one of Sharon's current work-study students, who will present to Sharon this, our first Staff Champion Award, on behalf of all the former AIM students whose lives she has enriched. And finally, the Faculty Champion Award. Dr. Nick Lang. That freaked me out because he was late getting here. I mean, let's just... So, the fact that nearly all of our AIM and learning differences students have taken at least one class in geology while at Mercyhurst will give you an idea of the welcoming atmosphere of Dr. Nick Lang and his colleagues in the geology department. Several of our current AIM students, including freshman Tim Bone, juniors Brad Farber, Lucy Coley, and Nicholas Schiff, and senior Pat Nolan, who is not here this evening, he's digging for fossils, are either geology or sustainability studies majors. Nick's commitment inside and outside of the classroom is legendary. Nick has helped students to auction fossils and minerals in an auction in order to help raise funds for the Geology Club's trip to Yellowstone. Nick makes the time to work with his students. His knowledge of rocks and minerals is legendary. Freshman Tim Bone told me recently a story of how Dr. Lang went through a pile of 15 geologic samples that Tim had gathered on a family vacation to Arizona, taking the time to identify and to discuss with Tim characteristics of each sample. Nick's weekends and summers include trips with his students throughout the United States where Nick's knowledge is shared with our many willing AIM students. But life has not always been rosy in the basement of Zern Hall, home to the geology department. Nick has put himself on the line advocating for our AIM students. There have been times when Nick has placed his commitment to our students above the opinions of others, offering our students a second chance when conventional wisdom said otherwise. There have been at least 2 students who, when crossing the stage to receive diplomas, would never have been able to stand there had it not been for Nick Lang in their corner. We offer our first Faculty Champion Award this year to Dr. Nick Lang, who has gone the distance in his commitment to his mission. Thank you. I'd like to introduce Brad McGarry, who will present some special awards to some special AIM students.
Dr. Schiff, it says up here I'm supposed to talk till it gets dark, so I hope you don't mind. After this, we don't have much more of a lighting the tower up. So, Paulina, you want to join me? These awards were really hard for us because we wanted to identify some special students, but I figure I just wanted to tell another quick story. I got a call from a major hotel chain that said they wanted to work with some of our AIM students in a new program they had for employment for autism students. And they said in their East Coast division, they had this program, and as they explained it to me, what it sounded like to me was a towel folding program for this major hotel. And I said, do you understand the caliber of the students that we have at Mercyhurst and the caliber of the AIM students here? And I said, not only will they not be working in that East Coast Division department, most likely our students will be running your East Coast Division. So when we talk about the academics and the caliber and to try to pick students that stick out, it was really difficult for us, but we really wanted to acknowledge just a couple students and what they're doing and the successes that they had. And we've talked all night about success often comes when you complete your failures or with obstacles. And some of these awards are not just based on the success that they have now, but also knowing some of the obstacles that they've crossed in their path to get where they are now. So with that said, Paulina and I just wanted to share a couple of awards, and I wasn't sure what order these were in. So, do you want to start? All right. Our first award we wanted to identify with a student. We interviewed him for the Foundations program, and we thought this is a great student. We interviewed him for the year-long AIM program. We thought he was a great student. We interviewed him for a work-study student, and we thought he was a great student. And in every single situation that we put him in, not only did he meet our expectations, but he far exceeded our expectations. This student, not just in the academics and in the social realm and the ACE domains that you all know we measure in the AIM program, but also on this student's door was constantly flyers about Friday night movie nights and social gatherings. So within the AIM community, with the AIM students, in the AIM office, everywhere we could see, we saw Matt Jury and him projecting what we wanted to see in our AIM students. So we wanted to give this award. Do you want anything with Matt? Did I do a good job?
You did a great
job.
job.
Okay,
Yeah,
I got it.
all
Good.
the key points.
So we wanted to give Matt an Outstanding Achievement Award for everything that he's done. All right, our next award. When we talk about obstacles, and I hope this student doesn't mind, but this student made a run at college somewhere else and didn't do so well. When he came to Mercyhurst, he stated, I've tried this before, I think I've learned my lesson, and I think Mercyhurst has what I need to succeed. So he came here to Mercyhurst, and we weren't sure how things were going. And the first term came by, we're like, we'll try it out. We talked with mom and dad, and we'll try it out again. And now he's smooth sailing. And actually, this is a really neat honor to watch him today. He had his own private photo shoot today, and he was interviewed with he and his mom for about 3.5 hours today by the Erie Times News, and they're doing an article on the success and where he was and how he wasn't able to succeed where he was, and how he came to Erie, came to Mercyhurst, made it his home, and made a successful go at it, and is doing a great job in his career and what he's doing. So, go ahead.
This student has also been the first student that I know of since I've been in Mercyhurst of our AIM program to be in one of our juried art shows.
Yes. Yeah, and it was really neat because not only was Jeff Krull in our art show, but also we had an AIM gathering at his reception night, which was really spectacular to see lots of the other students come out and join Jeff. So, Jeff, we wanted to give Jeff...
Congratulations.
All right, next award. This student, again, I don't want to talk too much about previous experiences, but this is another student that went to another school, came to Mercyhurst, and as far as I know, has held just about a 4.0 the entire time he's been here. This student is amazing to me. He takes tests outside of my office, and whether it's a math test, a social studies, whatever subject it is, he'll sit, and I don't even know if he realizes he does this, he'll sit and stare at the test for 28 minutes like this and just review every page, and then once that's done, puts the pencil to the page and everything just blurts out of his brain, and I am so envious of how he does this. But the other thing, we've really worked with this student on trying to open up. And his first year here, about 2 months into our school year, I said, honestly, tell me in the duration of minutes, how many minutes you have spoken one-on-one with your roommate. And he thought for 3 to 5 minutes, and he said, I think about 4.5 minutes. And he said, we're 2 months into school, and you think total, you've talked to your roommate for 4.5 minutes. Yeah. So we've been pushing him, and we say you have the academic talent. When you get into a vocational track and when you get into a job, you need the socialization. We need to push you. And we constantly push this student. I wish we could say this is the verbal award, because Mike Monaco, we have pushed him and pushed him and pushed him. And has anyone ever seen the Hump Day commercials with the camel? Every single day we see Mike. We say, Mike, 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 what day is it? What day is it? Just to try to get him to laugh and to communicate with us. But Mike has been hugely successful in our program. He's looking right now at internships, and we wanted to give Mike this achievement award for all of his success. Two more, and hopefully it's getting a little darker. I don't know how blue that, it's like a little purple right now, so we'll try to get it more blue. 2 more awards. This next award, this student is able to share information on every major storm that's hit the United States since 1949. And he was always so excited to share this with me. One of the social restraint methods we used in our individual meetings was I told him we have to cover the ACE domains and cover this duration of time first, and then we are able to speak about storms. And to the minute, when that time frame was over, we started talking about storms again. This student also went with us in May. We did a journey called Conquer the Canyon to raise awareness for the AIM program and autism, and went with us to Arizona and to hike the Grand Canyon. And we had a river raft trip that was canceled due to the wind and the currents down on the Colorado River. So instead we went to Wupataki in Sunset Crater.
Yes.
Is that how I say it? Yeah. And there was a volcano there, and the guides and individuals that were with us started to talk about these, and 2 or 3 minutes later they were in the back of the group and Dick had replaced them as the primary Arizona guide on volcanoes and expert activities. So we just wanted to acknowledge Nick Schiff with all of his talent and for kind of being the most popular wanted roommate in all of AIM. Everyone we've talked to said, I want to live with Nick. So he's always had that pleasant sense of humor and has always been a great contribution to our program. So thank you. And the last one, unfortunately, Patrick's not able to be here with us tonight, but we've talked a little bit with Nick Lang about Patrick. Patrick is a very, very unique individual. He's a senior and he's graduating. He has a full ride scholarship to a master's program. He applied to some of the top programs in the country at Michigan and Vanderbilt and SUNY Buffalo, and is actually going to be attending SUNY Buffalo. So Patrick's not here, but again, we wanted to acknowledge him with all of his hard work. I remember 2 or 3 years ago, Patrick coming in my office with a tear in his eye, and he said, Brad, I can't do it. I'm not cut out for it. And we talked and we talked and we talked, and he said, I'm just not going to make it. I'm not college material. And I said, Patrick, not only are you not college material, every single faculty member that I've talked to said you're the most amazing student that they've ever had in their class. So what a waste of talent if we can't figure out how to make this work. And he just sat back and pondered and he said, fine, what do I do? And I didn't know. So we talked and we talked and we talked and we tried to come up with everything that we could to try to help Patrick balance out. And Patrick has been an outstanding student and an outstanding ambassador for what we're trying to accomplish here at AIM. There's a lot of accolades that he's had. I know as a sophomore, he was the first sophomore, as far as we know, the first sophomore ever to present at the conference that he presented out west a little bit. But he's done a lot of things and accomplished a lot of independent research with lots of his faculty members. And when I've shared with folks, yeah, Patrick is an undergrad in our AIM program, they say, no way, I thought he was a graduate student and or a faculty member with, you know, some of the resources that he's had. So Patrick's not here tonight, but we'll make sure that he gets this, and we just wanted to acknowledge his successes as well. Okay? Thank you. Dr. Schiff, do you have any other stories that you just... So what we wanted to do is, again, thank everybody for coming and acknowledging the success of the students and what we're trying to accomplish. Next year, the program's growing a little bit. I don't know if everyone's quite aware of that, but our selection pool was so hard this year. We went to the school and said, hey, we have a lot of fantastic students in our program and even more applying for a slot in our program. So we're advancing things a little bit, and I just wanted to kind of acknowledge Lori Caveney from our office, and Paulina, who is our hall director, and Kristen Robson. We always stand up at all these things and we get all the phone calls and say, Brad, you're doing such a great job, but it's really all the people behind us that are really doing it, and I just wanted to acknowledge them as well. And Diane and all the founders, just what you guys have done to establish and to build on what we already have. It was pretty easy to kind of jump in and say we're doing something when you all have established such a great foundation for what we're doing. So thank you all very much for coming. We're just going to finish up in here and try to head out to the tower, and hopefully it's dark enough to look spectacular. Okay? Thank you very much.